Original.
Hello and welcome to Web Crawlers. This is one of our mini episodes, which is a mini version of our longer episodes. I am Allie Siegel.
I'm Melissa Stettin.
And I'm producer Maria.
Yeah, you are. In these mini episodes, we're going to be talking about all things weird, read emails, talk about news stories. However, this one is a little bit off the cuff. We are going to do a whole episode on Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, the Cage Man.
This is what we like to call a cage match. So get ready get ready to fight. Nicolas Cage is I think, one of our favorite actors.
Definitely.
National treasure, one of the best movies of all time.
Matchstick Men, one of the best movies of all time.
Yes.
The Weatherman.
What's the one where he goes, the bees?
Oh, that's
Wicker Man. Wicker Man.
Wicker Man.
We have to insert that clip.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Face Off.
Face Off, also
so
good.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Con Air.
Con Air.
Con Air. I mean, there's just
Valley Girl's my favorite movie.
I still haven't seen Valley Girl.
I haven't either.
The original with him, and it's really good. It's like almost like a low budget movie. Like a lot of things don't quite add up, but it's really, really good.
And Vampire's Kiss is like a cult classic, which I also haven't seen.
Yep.
So there's just so much. And then
Adaptation.
Adaptation.
That was a weird one. So based off this, one day we were just like, let's Google Nicolas Cage. And this article came up, 2 articles came up. One was a Mental Floss article, and the other one was from another website, which we'll find. And it was weird facts about Nicolas Cage, and he's like insane. So This episode is just us like shooting the shit and listing off these Nicolas Cage facts that we found. Let's get into it, as we say. Okay, so Nicolas Cage was born Nicholas Kim Coppola.
Right, he's a Coppola.
He's a Coppola. He was born January 7, 1964. He's a Capricorn. He has been married 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Wow.
And divorced 4 times.
So he's currently single, is what you're saying.
He's single and ready to mingle. Yes.
Okay.
He was married to Patricia Arquette.
Right. Cool.
Lisa Marie Presley, which was weird because he was obsessed with Elvis.
He was married to Patricia Arquette?
Yes.
No.
It was like a
How
deal,
could you
I
forget?
think. Yeah.
You remember that, Craig? Nicolas Cage and Patricia Arquette. He doesn't remember that either. That must...
You know that Nicolas Cage married Priscilla Presley
We know.
solely so he could go into Elvis'.
What's Craig yelling about?
He only married Priscilla Presley, not
Lisa
Priscilla,
Marie.
Lisa Marie, because he wanted to go into Elvis's bathroom.
Oh, because that's where he died on the toilet, right?
Oh, I believe that.
I don't think it's true, but
It's true. The night they got married, they flew to Graceland and they went into Elvis'.
all right. Gosh.
Wow.
That's a good conspiracy.
He wouldn't do that to Lisa.
He was married to an Alice Kim. And then he was married to an Erica Koik or something, and they got married in Vegas and like divorced like 24 hours later or something.
Oh,
like
right.
that.
He lives in Vegas because of like tax reasons. Is that why?
That's so trashy and so
4
scary.
days. They were married for 4 days. A makeup artist.
That's yikes. Okay, so he was born Nicolas Kim Coppola, but he changed his name due to love for the comic book character Luke Cage. So that's where he got very cool background, Maria.
Crazy. I had no idea.
That's where he got the name Cage. He's a big comic book nerd. This comes in more.
Oh.
He's from the Coppola family. In 1995, his Academy Award for Leaving Las Vegas, he won, meant that 3 straight generations of Coppola had won the award in a row.
Oh, wow.
Which is nuts. What a family.
What a great family.
What a fam.
Royalty.
Wait, had won what award?
The Academy Award, you dumb shit.
But not for not for actor.
He won for Best Actor, I think, in Leaving Las Vegas.
But then so Francis Ford Coppola won for Godfather in the 70s. Who won for the 80s?
Sophia Coppola?
No, she won in the 2000s.
Who is okay? So there's Francis Ford Coppola. Who's his son?
Roman Coppola.
Roman Polanski.
No.
Best Picture, 1975, Godfather. 1990 was The Godfather. Apocalypse Now was Francis Ford Coppola. It was the 80s.
I don't mean to like step on your toes, but what you said didn't make sense to me.
Maybe they weren't saying different people. So who won? Who won for Apocalypse Now?
Francis Ford Coppola.
And who won in the 70s?
Francis Ford Coppola for The Godfather.
Maybe they just meant the Coppola family won 3 times in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, that's somehow less impressive to me.
When you got Francis Ford Coppola in your family,
yeah, he's winning all over the place.
it's an Oscar family.
That's an Oscar family.
That's like saying the Hanks family is the first family to win like 3 Best Actor awards, and
it's Tom
only
Hanks
Tom
twice.
Hanks.
And it's just
I mean, Colin Hanks is, he'll have his
maybe
time.
Chet's gonna win something. A Tony.
well, he will.
A Tony for Chet. That'd be a fun documentary. A Tony for Chet, and it's just Chet Hanks trying to win a Tony.
That would be great.
I'm gonna pitch that to Martin.
Yeah,
Just
just
tell
write down
Martin
your
that that's
ideas.
my okay. Okay, so Nic Cage is obsessed with comic books. We've discussed. He named his second child. I don't watch Superman. Kal-El. Ask Craig how to pronounce Kal-El from Superman.
He doesn't know. He's not a nerd. Do you know how to pronounce Kal-El from Superman? Do you know what Kal-El is? Do you know who Kal-El is?
It's Superman's birth name.
He doesn't know.
Kal-El
Superman's
Cage.
birth name is Alien Man.
Maria. Stupid.
Clark Kent, right? Or is
I'm
that
No,
looking
that's his
Meet
alter ego.
Kal-El.
Well, that's what he named his. I think that's his original name. But that anyway, Nic Cage named his kid that. Okay, he loves comic books. Superman's debut, Action Comics 1, he bought in 1997 for $110,000. Then he sold it in 2011 for a whopping $2.16 million.
Damn.
Yeah. In between 1996 and 2011, Cage made over $150 million. Wow. Then he spent it all and more by purchasing a $300,000 dinosaur skull, which he ended up having to return
because it was
stolen.
It was stolen.
Yes. Rare albino king cobras, an octopus, multiple castles, and 2 entire islands. Wild purchases.
Part of me appreciates that he's spending his money and he's not just sitting on it.
Me too. I think he's tight.
Yeah, he's putting it back out into the economy.
Yeah, I'm pro Nic Cage in all of his facets. Cage owns a collection of real shrunken pygmy heads. What does Craig want to say?
He's got a Nicolas Cage story.
Oh, let's hear it.
Get Craig on the horn.
Come on, Greg's Corner.
Craig, can you come here?
Craig's Corner. Craig's Corner. Do 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 do.
Craig's Corner.
Welcome to Craig's Corner.
We need a theme song for Craig's Corner. Joran.
Craig's Corner. Do 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 do.
Craig's Corner.
All right, you with me?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
There was always these stories of Nicolas Cage's spending habits, right? So in the year 2000, I went to the Cannes Film Festival.
Ooh.
Yeah, not a big deal. Anyway, while I'm there, I went with this girl I was dating at the time, and we were like guests of this producer who wanted. The producer guy goes, "Hey, I need you to go pick up my stars from the airport."
Oh.
I don't know I'm like, what is this? So I get in the rental car. I drive to this airport in the south of France, and I pick up David Carradine and Robert Carradine.
Oh
Shut
my
up.
God.
So Robert Carradine is
The dad and Lizzie McGuire.
no. Well, here's
Yes.
Well, didn't he also
Yes,
die of autoerotic asphyxiation?
Slow down. Anyway, so Robert Carradine, I know him because he's the head nerd in Revenge of the Nerds. It's just one of my favorite movies.
right.
Anyway, so I got to drive them back to the chateau we're staying at. I have, MapQuest, none of that exists. So I'm trying to find my way back through the south of France. I'm stuck in this minivan with David Carradine and Robert Carradine for about 4 hours. So we just start talking about everything. Robert Carradine, well, first of all, David Carradine, I'm like talking about Death Race 2000 and Kung Fu, all this stuff. He's telling me about all the old Ferraris he used to own. I'm like, oh man, going on. And then Robert Carradine tells me, he goes, I actually am a race car driving instructor. When I get back to the States, Nicolas Cage and I are going up to Willow Springs Raceway, and I'm going to give him some lessons. Nicolas Cage rents the entire racetrack and brings 2 18-wheel car carriers stacked with sports cars. And they just drive around the racetrack.
Oh my God.
So he gives me his card and he's like, yeah, you should come out. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll come out. By the way, while I was in the van with him, he got the call from his agent that he booked the Lizzie McGuire part. I was in the car with him. Yeah, he did this, and he did this whole joke about, about only being known for being a nerd and all. Anyway, so we get back to the state. We get back to, a couple weeks later, get back to the States. I call him like every 4 days. Doesn't return anything. Like just totally blow.
Because he thought you were free.
Check this out. Totally blows me off. About a month later, I get my Auto Week magazine. He and Nicolas Cage had crashed at Willow Springs, and Robert Carradine was all fucked up from the crash.
Holy shit.
You avoided death.
Well, but what does that have to do with him never inviting you, like he said?
Well, he never invited. Who the fuck? You invite me to who's this guy, right? I'm just, as far as he knows, I'm just the guy, the chauffeur that can't find his way back to the show.
But you're so much more.
But the point of the matter is to rent a racetrack, just him and his driving instructor, with 2 18-wheelers full of high-end sports cars.
That's
Imagine
insane.
the cost of that.
What year was this?
Well, I went in 2000, so it most likely happened in 2000. I haven't ever looked it up, but if you Google Robert Carradine car crash, something's got to come up because it was in
Wow.
Auto Magazine, and he like messed up his spine. It was a serious crash. I think he crashed a Porsche or something like that.
David Carradine's the one that's in Dexter, or he's the one that died?
David Carradine's he passed away. Yeah. With everyone says it was autoerotic asphyxiation, and then people.
But there's a whole conspiracy that well, never mind. That's very QAnon. If I was to get into that. Robert Carradine's ex car crash was attempted murder-suicide.
No, I don't think that's it.
Oh, that's probably a different
This
car
was
crash.
This was at Willow Springs Raceway, which is like an hour outside of LA, like in the middle of the desert. I mean, this is back in 2000. So, I mean, but I distinctly remember reading it in Auto Week magazine. I don't even know if Auto Week's published anymore, but.
Wow. Robert Carradine also moved assets to Switzerland to avoid financial ruin.
October 22nd, 1999, Cage practices with Robert Carradine, Willow Springs.
Well, that was before the crash because I was definitely at the 2000 anyway. So, that's my Nicolas Cage spending money story.
Wow. Well, thank you, Craig. As usual, we love Craig's Corner.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Craig's Corner. Craig's Corner. Do. That's Craig. Fun story. Okay, where was I? Cage also allegedly owns a shark and a crocodile. Nicolas Cage created the acting style known as nouveau shamanic. So he is apparently one of the only people in like in modern acting to have his own acting style. And he says that he's actually not acting, he's channeling. Much like the shamans who recreate stories for their tribes, he thinks that he's not acting, he's like recreating, he's like stepping into the lives of these characters and like recreating their stories, like manifesting them into
That's
life.
cool. I like that.
I believe it.
He calls it nouveau shamanic. And then early in his career, Cage believes strongly in method acting.
Oh, I bet.
To prepare for the role of a severely wounded man in Birdie, He had his teeth pulled in real life without anesthesia to connect with the physical pain of his character.
What? Why? No.
I know. Banana Town. Absolutely bananas.
I dated this guy like over 10 years ago he was an actor. It wasn't a very good actor, but he was like, he had to play the role of like a priest or something. And he's like, the night before the role, I slept under my bed so I could know what it felt like to feel oppressed.
Oh my God.
Wow. That's...
I roll.
He hasn't really worked since then.
Why didn't he sleep outside?
I don't know. It's such a weird thing to say and do.
Oh my God.
So Nicolas Cage, he won't eat anything that mates in an undignified way. So he says, I actually choose the way I eat according to the way animals have sex. He said, I think fish are very dignified with sex, so are birds.
What does he mean by that?
I don't know. What does he mean by that?
I think he won't eat anything that has sex doggy style. I don't know. I guess I don't know how fish have sex.
Huh.
Underwater?
Yeah. Duh, he won't have hot tub sex. So Cage once was stalked by a mime who appeared on his movie sets and followed him everywhere. It was in the movie Bringing Out the Dead.
That's
This
insane.
is crazy. Like somehow this person would like break into movie sets and like claim they were an extra.
That's
Wait a
so
minute,
crazy.
sorry.
Just like do the box.
Yeah, was he miming as he did it? Like, was it like
I don't know.
that
pulling
Kardashians
a
episode
rope.
when they keep having that mime come? Remember that
Oh,
Kardashians
God,
episode?
I do remember that episode.
That's scary.
So weird. In 2011, some bystanders witnessed a drunken Nicolas Cage grabbing his wife by the arm in New Orleans in the French Quarter, and he got arrested. However, the person who paid his bail, posted his $11,000 bail, was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
That's so insane. That is so crazy. Like, also, it makes total sense that Nicolas Cage and Dog the Bounty Hunter would be friends. I also think I look like Beth the Bounty Hunter, who I believe is dead now, unfortunately, but I think I look like her. Give Beth the Bounty Hunter a Google.
Oh, I mean,
No, you don't.
maybe in like
You
50
really don't.
years. I don't know. No, I don't. No.
I see. It's a similar vibe.
I could see vibe.
Yeah,
Yes.
same
Yes.
spirit.
Energy. Same energy.
Yeah, same energy. You have Beth.
I have
the
Beth,
Bounty Hunter.
Beth the Bounty Hunter energy.
So one night while living in Orange County, Nicolas Cage woke up to find a man had broken into his house and was standing over his bed naked, but wearing Nicolas Cage's leather jacket and eating a fudge sickle.
That is so wild. What a weird stalker.
And this wasn't the mime, right? This was someone new?
This is someone new.
Whoa.
Because if it was a mime, he would have been eating a fake fudgesicle.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been eating.
That's true. That's true.
He has a son named Weston who's very goth.
Oh my God, you have to Google Nicolas Cage son Weston, and you're going to be blown away. He looks like a vampire.
He's 29. He lives in LA. He's an actor.
He lives in LA. Why isn't he on Raya? That's really surprising. Maybe he couldn't get in because people don't know who he is.
He's already been married twice.
Wow, these cages really run through
Can't
him.
lock them up.
He's been married 3 times.
And he's like 20?
29.
Oh my God.
He was married in 2011 to 2012, and then 2013 to 2016, and then he got married again in 2018. Wow, he's really taken after his dad. All these marriages.
Yeah, that's crazy. Maria, have you seen a picture of him yet?
Yeah, I saw a picture of him the other day.
Wild, right?
Yeah, it's wild and crazy, baby. But that's what you get with the Cage fam.
So he also bought this haunted mansion, which is in New Orleans, which is considered the most haunted mansion in the world, and he wanted to write a book in it. It's called the LaLaurie Mansion. And it once belonged to a serial killer by the name of Madame Delphine LaLaurie.
I think that they actually in American Horror Story Coven, that series, she was one of the people who was portrayed in it.
Right. So he bought it in 2007, but then he lost it to foreclosure in 2009. So he lost a bunch of money on it.
Craig's still wondering if it was a good story or not.
The story that Craig told us?
Yeah, he's just wondering if it was a good story or not.
I loved
It's a
it.
great story.
I really liked it.
Great story, Craig.
It's a good story. Because in the 1800s, this LaLaurie serial killer, she killed many of her slaves, and their spirits are said to haunt the mansion today.
Good. I hope they kill every white
Jesus.
person who enters the house.
In his movie Vampire's Kiss in 1988, he ate the cockroach. It's a live cockroach. He ate an actual cockroach.
Did you just not feel like talking about the dinosaur skull or the?
Oh, we
or I
already
guess
said
we already
he
talked.
bought
Yeah,
the
we
dinosaur
heard that.
skull.
Yes, but then he had to return it.
Yeah, because it was stolen.
He was contacted by the Department of Homeland Security,
Oh.
and he had to steal it. He had to return it to Mongolia because it was stolen from the Mongolian Gobi Desert. I feel like that's just an interesting to add. Like, it's just weird that one day Nicolas Cage got a call from the Department of Homeland Security being like, "Excuse me, we need your dinosaur skull back." That's just insane.
A Tyrannosaurus batar skull, whatever that means.
Bizarre.
He bought a pyramid tomb in New Orleans in 2010. I've actually seen this in person.
How? Where? Why?
It's in a cemetery in New Orleans.
oh my
What is
God.
it?
It's a tomb. It's like he bought 2 plots of land and there's this giant tomb, which everyone assumes that he's probably going to be buried in when he dies.
Yeah.
But it's like this giant pyramid for
That's
him
insane.
and whoever else wants to be buried
I
there.
don't know. I dig it. I think that he lives his life off kilter, and
I think he's great. He once slept in Dracula's castle. He said,
Whoa.
quote, "Yeah, man, I went up to Dracula's castle, the ruins up in the mountains. I stayed the night. I just had to channel the energy, and it was pretty spooky up there."
I would imagine. Where's Dracula's castle? Transylvania?
I would, in Romania, perhaps. He once did mushrooms with his cat.
Oh God.
He owned a cat named Lewis. He said that he wanted to give his cat some mushrooms too. He's like, "I remember lying in bed for hours."
That's so fucked.
And Lewis was on the desk across from the bed for hours. We were just staring at each other, not moving. But he would stare at me, and I had no doubt that he was my brother. Okay, you can't give. Don't give your animal.
Don't give your animal mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
That's horrible.
But he donated $2 million to Amnesty International and $1 million to the victims of Hurricane Katrina.
That's
How
really
nice.
sweet. That's nice.
And so his islands, this one island he bought in the Bahamas called Leaf Cay, he bought it in 2006 for $3 million. And it's currently for sale.
Wow.
It's called
For how-
Reef K.
Leaf Cay with an L. La 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 la. It's for sale for $8.5 million.
That's not that much for an island.
No, it's not.
It's 35 acres.
Reef K, private island.
We should start a Kickstarter to try to buy the island, and it could just be
that'd
Web
be
Crawler's
great.
Island.
Web Crawler's Island. It's south of Exuma. 35 acres. I mean, that's a nice size island.
That's really weird. I didn't know islands were that cheap. Not saying 8 million is cheap, but like,
No, but that is, yeah, just to buy an island, it seems
like a rich
like-
person could afford that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like if you're like a movie star, you could buy an island.
Yeah. David Copperfield has his own island.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys listened to this episode, but I had my neighbor on a while ago who talked about food science. For those of you, I can't remember if we said this, but my neighbor is also like a musician, and he is the creator of Emo Night, and he also produces like a lot of music videos for bands and like emo bands and stuff like this. Anyways, he happens to have written and produced a song called National Treasure is the Best Movie Ever.
That kind of rhymes.
And yeah, and we're going to play it. This is by Xander, Morgan Freed, and Green Geometro. You can find Green Geometro on Twitter at Green Geometro and at Z Hall, HAWL. That's what I was told to shout out for this. Okay.
Well, that's nice.
National Treasure is the best movie ever.
Wow.
National Treasure, starring Nic Cage. National Treasure is the best movie ever. National Treasure 2
It's haunting.
is also pretty good.
Yeah. Who's this, the National?
I will steal the Declaration. I will steal the Declaration.
I'll play like 10 more seconds.
National Treasure is the best movie ever. National Treasure.
I think we'll post the video too. I think there's like one part where it gets like really intense. Hold on.
That's
That's
nice.
a good tune. That'll be in my head.
Also pretty good.
And then there's also an original version. That's the orchestra version. Here's the original. Hold on. It's catchy, no?
National Treasure
Oh,
is
wow.
the best movie ever. National Treasure is starring Nic Cage. National Treasure
Very Dashboard Confessional.
is the best movie ever. National Treasure 2 was also
So
pretty
emo.
good.
That's great.
Anyways, we will post those. So those are some Nicolas Cage anthems. If you guys have Nicolas Cage, this episode's not done yet. We have a few more things to talk about. But if you guys have Nicolas Cage things too, anthems or poems,
Fan art.
fan art, please send them over because I think that would be, an important part of, just the web crawlers lore.
Nicolas Cage is our mascot.
He's our mascot. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is the mascot of web crawlers. Nicolas
He
Cage is a
is?
cryptid.
Well, when they make the Web Crawlers movie, it's going to star Nicolas Cage.
Yes,
I
as
don't
you,
know.
Maria.
Yeah,
As producer Maria. I love
As
that.
producer Nicolas Cage as producer Maria.
and me and
love
Allie will
that.
play ourselves. Just Nicolas Cage.
I really love
No,
that.
Beth the Bounty Hunter is going to play
Beth the Bounty
me.
Hunter.
Nicolas Cage.
She passed away.
That doesn't stop her from a starring Hollywood role. It doesn't stop anyone. And Nicolas Cage is going to be you. Who will be Melissa?
I'll play myself.
Angelina Jolie. So now we actually have one important thing to talk about, and it's really crazy. We got a voicemail. Melissa, tell us about this voicemail.
Okay, we got a voicemail from a woman whose uncle is one of the private investigators we mentioned in our Johnny Gosh episode.
Wild.
There were a couple of private investigators. There was the Sam Soda guy who was like the shady private investigator. Then there was this one guy named Dennis Whelan, who is the guy who went to these child auctions to see if Johnny was there. And I remember us saying like, well, if he knew these child auctions were happening, why didn't he go to the police? And we got an answer.
Hi, this is a message for web crawlers. I've been listening to you guys from the very beginning, pretty much. So I enjoy your podcast a lot. So thank you. I was listening to your Johnny Gosh episode, and you mentioned my great late uncle, Dennis Whelan. You also said his name wrong, but that's okay. I can get past that. But I am going to clear his name on you guys talking about him being a shady private investigator. My uncle was actually a really respected private investigator. Mm-hmm. And the reason I assumed that he didn't go to the police in the Johnny Gosh case was because the police were definitely part of this issue with sex trafficking. I lived with him for a summer. He was from Omaha, which is right across the border from Iowa. I lived with him for a summer in 1996. And one of the only things I remember him saying to me the whole entire time I lived with him was, Des Moines is full of perverts. That's a direct quote. So he probably did not trust anyone in the Des Moines where the jurisdiction was for Johnny to go to them. Also, when the police are covering something like that, like, who are you supposed to go to? He was also probably scared for his life and his family because that kind of thing happened. We got calls at his house from people in cases he was investigating. They would call our house and harass us. So,
Oh my God.
just letting you guys know that Denny Whalen was a very good man who also went into cults and kidnapped, well, they call it kidnapped, quote unquote, the children of people that would, people would hire him to go into cults where their children had been abducted into, and he would actually get them out of the cult, take them and deprogram them so that they could go back to their regular life.
That's amazing.
Holy fuck.
He caught a charge for that, but he didn't care about breaking the law as long as he knew that he was going to help someone's family. He was very good at what he did. He found a lot of kids. And so I just wanted to put that out there. He's not somebody that was shady, and he believed Noreen Gosh, and he did everything he could to help find Johnny. I'm pretty sure they kept a relationship going all through the rest of the years he was alive. He died probably 10, 15 years ago, so he's no longer with us, but I appreciate you guys. Keep doing the show.
Wow. So we were totally, whatever we said about Denny Whalen.
I believe we said
Whalen. It's Whalen.
Sorry.
Denny Whalen. Because I was like, private investigators tend to take advantage of people who are like looking for their missing children. And so I was like, well, I wonder if he might have been one of those people. But no, he's like a legit private investigator. And then I Googled him. His obituary is pretty fascinating.
What'd it say?
He made a career out of solving unsolved crimes, locating missing children, and freeing the innocent. In 1987, Whalen found himself in trouble when he tried to expose a religious cult. He eventually succeeded in rescuing a Colorado college student from the Moonies, but charges were filed against Whalen. So apparently she escaped and she went back to this cult. And they go to the prosecutor and they charge him with kidnapping. They're like, he stole this kid from this cult. And then they eventually got the charges dismissed. And then the lawyer said he always knew that Whalen was one who operated on the edge. He would go the extra mile to track someone down and solve a difficult case. He also said, I used to say it's possible to hide from the law, but it's impossible to hide from Denny Whalen.
That's
He said that that's awesome. He also helped solve the murder of Mary Kay Harmer, who disappeared in 1975 after attending a Hells Angels party. With Whalen's help, Harmer's skeleton was found in a Carter Lake manhole more than 8 years later.
Oh my God.
Davis said, we obtained his immunity and he testified, and Red Nesbitt was convicted of murdering that little girl. And more recently, Whalen dedicated his time to the organization Free the Innocent. In his basement office, he pored over old evidence, trying to free people he believed had been falsely convicted. So this is a cool guy.
Yeah, this is a seriously cool dude. He's a hero.
That's amazing.
So glad we got this voicemail. And we have the coolest listeners ever. I feel like every time we do an episode, we find out someone who's like somehow related to the case.
Yeah. So anyway, Denny Whalen, not a shady private investigator.
Not a shade, quite the opposite. Anyways, so that was our Nic Cage cage match. If you guys have any thing to say about Nicolas Cage, Melissa, where can people? It sounds cool when you call him Nicolas Cage instead of
Nicholas.
Nic Cage. Nicholas.
I call him just Nicholas. I don't need
just
Cage.
Nicholas. If anyone has anything to say about Nicholas, Melissa, where can people reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Reddit.
And also, please make sure to join our Patreon every few days. I am reading some Bigfoot erotica.
Oh, it is enthralling.
Yeah.
And also, we have an ACAST supporter page. So if you want to tip us $1 or two, you can
3 or
go
4.
there, or 3 or 4. Melissa, what's our ACAST supporter page?
You know, I would think it's support.
It's just a link on the
There's a link in the
like when you-
episode notes.
There's a link in the episode, so just go there if you feel like it, or don't.
Have you made any more money? Because I know you had gotten that $1.
If you think that I can get into our ACAST page, you're insane.
Let's check.
I am. I'm looking right now. I know Allie's been trying to get a password for the ACAST page from almost a year. Oh, I see the supporter page. Let's see. Drum roll, please. Okay.
What?
Here we go. So we've got Marissa with Bigfoot's dick. She gave $3. Diane Robbins gave $10.
Oh my God.
She's our patron.
And she said, I challenge all Web Crawlers listeners to donate to help Allie, Melissa, and Maria buy a hyperbaric chamber so they can recover after their deep dives into mysteries and conspiracies in their search for the truth.
Wow.
Oh my God, Diane.
Kevin W. gave $13.
Wow. Lucky number.
And he says, honk, 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 honk. And then Care Bear 77 gave $10.
Oh my
God.
And they said, I love the Urban Legends episode. I have listened to it several times and
my
just crack up
God.
every time. You should definitely have Paul back on for a part 2 of Urban Legends or just for any funny topic.
Wow, guys, you
That's
really are doing this
crazy.
ACAST supporter stuff. I'm so appreciative. This
You've
is
made
so
just
fun.
under $40.
Wow.
Holy shit, we're rich. And just
Here
so
we
you guys
go.
know,
We're going to go buy that island.
Hell
we
yeah.
we have been donating some of our Patreon money to important charities for
Yes.
all the things that have been going on in the world lately. So your money not only goes to making this podcast better, but also goes to good causes all around the world. So we are very appreciative of all of you. Anyways, that is about it. I am Allie Siegel.
I'm Melissa Stettin.
And I'm producer Maria.
Honk, honk,
Honk.
Craig's
Oy, oy,
Corner.
oy.
Craig's Corner. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm Craig. Bye.
An Erios original.
Powered by ACAST.